Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. I was trying to do a thing with the Pyrite Town music, but I am completely tone deaf. Yeah, I was actually trying there. Anyway, welcome back to more Pokémon Colosseum. In the last episode, we got ourselves a new party member in the form of Quagsire. And in this episode, I'm going to switch around my team a little bit, because I guess that wasn't overly necessary, because we're actually going to be taking on the Battle Square here, or Duel Square, excuse me, of course I'm getting it wrong. We're going to be fighting every trainer here in this, we're fighting every trainer right here. Here we got Ryder Nover. Hey, you should add an S to the beginning of your name. You'd be a Gen 4 Pokemon in Gen 3, and you'd crash the game with your awesome snowy treeness. I don't know. Anyway, so we got some more stupid names here. Quilava is actually getting really close to emptying its bar. I'd like to just say that even though Quilava's bar is almost empty, we will actually not be able to still level up with it. We will get all of its moves. But anyway, we got Noctowl right here. Noctowl is a bit interesting. This is a flying type, normal flying type to be precise, because there's no such thing as a pure flying type, at least not in this game. It's a bit interesting. It has the HM move Fly, which will make it immune from damage for one turn and then attack the next turn, which can be kind of nice in double battles against the AI. It also has Reflect if you don't want to use your Espeon. It's a nice option for that. And of course, Hypnosis is a great move in a game where they are really stressing for you to catch every Pokemon you can here. So, it's pretty versatile. It doesn't have the greatest stats in the world, but remember, Colosseum has limited options, so it might be a good thing for you to pick up if you are looking for a flying type early on, or something that can just use Hypnosis. But anyway, so I actually wanted to bring something up. I wanted to talk about these battles and how I'm going to be speeding them up. I'm going to be doing that thing again where I'm going to do post-commentary over battles and speed them up. I'm going to commentate mainly over this first one just because, you know, it's kind of the first battle of them, but yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm going to be doing that once again. So we got Wingull using Growl over there. I'm sure that's really going to defend it, and actually, you know what? I'm kind of lucky that Wingull hasn't used any water attacks if it has them. I don't know. Hopefully you're actually seeing why I like Quagsire right here. It doesn't have the best attacking stats, and its defensive stats could be higher. I just am a big fan of its type, personally. And I will say that I have a fire type and a water type. If I pick up a grass type, who knows? Let's go and try to catch Noctowl right here, actually. I know I haven't really been talking much about the battle. I've just been kind of explaining things and explaining myself. Let's see how we do. Come on! Alright, the hand pops out, grabs him, and 1, 2, 3... Yeah! Okay, we already got ourselves a Pokemon. Okay. Not bad. That Noctowl, I've had it be a jerk to me before, so I wasn't sure I was going to do. But, anyway. So. I guess now that we're done with that, Pokemon goes into hyper mode, it becomes more likely to get critical hits. Okay. Usually, if a Pokemon with a Black Aura uses Shadow Rush, it'll be more likely to get critical hits when in hyper mode. What is hyper mode? It's something that activates at random that can be ended with call. I'll be going into more detail about all the dynamics of it later on, but for the time being, let's get into some more battles and start speeding them up. Whoa, 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 okay. Good, good. I like your attitude. Feast your eyes on these. Great out of context line, especially for a girl in a short skirt. Oh well, let's get this started. She was talking about Pokemon moves, so I won't be completely immature about it, but let's go. Go. Okay, we're fighting Diogo. Let's go fight Diogo, who is Diego's awkward cousin. Okay. Anyway, she is starting off with a Floppy here that is actually snaggable. Now, I guarantee you that if you've played through the Johto games, you have probably used a Floppy on your team. I guarantee you probably. That's kind of not very sure. Whatever. Anyway, you've probably used a Floppy at one point or another. It's the standard early electric type for Johto, and it's no exception here, as it's probably your earliest option that you would want to grab. Though you might be familiar with it, I will warn you that Floppy is very on the slow side for electric types that are generally fast. So if you're looking for a fast special attacker, Floppy will not come through for you in that department, but it does have some nice moves early on. It's all you're going to find for an electric type for a little while, but let's try to snag it, and I unfortunately fail. Now, what I'm doing here is actually kind of a nice tactic if you picked up Quilava, and it's one of the main reasons I grabbed it, is Smokescreen. The fact that it starts with Smokescreen so early on is really nice for snagging Pokemon because you can just lower their accuracy and not take damage while you're repeatedly trying to snag it. You saw there that worked out quite well for me because Floppy missed when it attacked. Alright, so let's go ahead and fight this next trainer. We have some cowgirl with a purple leopard. Hey, there's no leopards in the Pokemon world, so it's got to be a Pokemon. A purple leopard Pokemon. This might be undiscovered or unseen in games. People need to make that. Anyway, we got a snaggable Skiploom right off the bat, and I picked a really good time to have Quagsire out and then fail to call it back and instead call it for some reason when it wasn't even in hype, when it didn't even need it. Anyway though, Skiploom. This is your alternative if you did not snag Bayleaf. This is the other grass type that is available early on. Unfortunately, even though Skiploom has Sleep Powder, which is kind of nice for people that wanted those moves on Bailey and were disappointed that Bayleaf didn't get them, pretty much its main draw is that it's fast. But I don't like Skiploom's type. I don't like Grass Flying. It's very glaring. I mean, I hate being weak to Rock when I'm a Grass type, and I should be able to take out Rocks quite easily. I'm also not too big of a fan of Skiploom's move pool. It's not a terrible Pokemon. I'm pretty sure you can still find use for it. That aside, though, let's go ahead and see if we can snag Skiploom right here, and I KO'd it. I'll be right back. Now, I actually want to mention this. If you fail to snag a Pokemon, sometimes you will not get another chance for a while. In the Duel Square, however, you do get other chances. You can talk to the trainers as many times as you want. If the trainer notices you to battle you, which we haven't seen yet, you likely won't get another chance. However, for a little while. This trainer right here, though, I can just talk to her again, and we instantly get another chance to catch Skiploom. So that was actually a good time to bring up a core mechanic of the game that some people might have been confused on if you failed to capture, because, you know, not all Pokemon games let you rematch the trainers, and considering that you get your Pokemon from trainer battles here, you know, obtained as they obtain them through illegal methods or are just criminals in general, yeah. So that is how you get other chances. You will be able to fight other trainers later on, but some of them are only fightable one time in the main game. Is fightable even a word? I don't know. And of course, I'm having trouble catching it. Now, this Skiploom here, I'm showing this other battle because I actually kind of have a story with it. When practicing for this game, I was seriously chucking Pokeballs at this Skiploom for over 20 minutes. It had red health, and yet it still just would not get in the ball. No joke, as soon as I caught it, the game crashed, and I hadn't saved in over an hour. I was so angry. So I'm quite glad that I got that Skiploom right there, because when I KO'd it, it worried me. Alright, so I don't want to battle like I quit yet. I want to swap around my team. Now let's battle him. So we got Ryder Vant. I get the feeling there's a pun in there somewhere, but I don't know what it is. He's got Misdreavus. Now, a lot of people don't like Misdreavus and say that it's one of the weakest ghost types. Guess what? Misdreavus is the only ghost type in all of Pokemon Colosseum that you can catch, so if you don't like it and you want a ghost type, you better get used to it! In all seriousness though, in Colosseum, options are limited, and as a result of that, if you want a ghost type, you might as well grab Misdreavus. Levitate's great to have in a double battle, as you're immune to ground type moves, and Earthquake will hit your ally. In fact, it would complement most ground types quite well. It's also not bad to have for Confuse Ray, should you not want to use Umbreon for that. So, if you're looking to replace your Umbreon with something and you want something that's kind of interesting, I suppose you can grab this, but that's actually something that I would like to say is, just so you know, options in Colosseum are incredibly limited. Like, we're talking like 50 Pokemon in the whole game. So, on top of this, every battle's a double battle. This means everyone performs differently than they do in normal games. So if you've heard me not recommend something before or say something is mediocre before, I might say kinder things about it now. So for those who might call me out saying that I'm hypocritical, being like, oh no, you said like Stantler was awful back in Crystal, why are you suddenly praising it? It's because options are so limited in Colosseum that you only have like 1, 2, or 3 Pokemon per type. So I'm gonna speak in the terms of Colosseum, saying like, well, this isn't so great otherwise, but in this game, you know, it performs differently in double battles, and on top of that, your options are so limited, this is about the best you're going to get for this type. So, yeah, just so you know, I'm going to be speaking nicer about a lot more Pokemon than I might have called mediocre in the past. And with that, we have gotten Misdreavus, and to send it out, to replace it, he sent out a Skitty. I don't know what he's planning to do with that, but hey. Just go ahead and finish up. Hey! Noctowl enters Hyper Mode right there. That will make it so that you don't get to attack. We actually briefly went over that earlier. And we're finally getting a chance to show it off. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it took this long to happen. I use Shadow Rush right there and I get a critical, so that shows an example of how Shadow Rush actually is. How Shadow Rush's critical hit ratio goes way up during Hyper Mode. Also during Hyper Mode, sometimes your Pokemon will disobey you and waste its turn by attacking a trainer. Trainers can't die though, it's just kind of a cosmetic thing. And on top of that, sometimes it will disobey you and just use Shadow Rush anyway. Alright, battles. I didn't see what to say. Hey, Roller Boy, get back to your ranch. Oh, yeah, his name's Lon. I had to do it. Okay. So, he's going to be using a Slugma right here that we can snag. This is your replacement fire type if you did not catch Quilava. Slugma is a very slow fire type. So we have a fast grass type and a slow fire type as your replacements for Quilava and Bayleaf. Slugma is kind of interesting. It's got the ability to get Flamethrower, which is kind of nice. So if you want to grab that, I suppose you could get it for that. Just be forewarned, the move in the first slot is not always available to you. Right off the bat, and that the move in the fourth slot will take a while to get. So, yeah. Anyway, Slugma is interesting. It's got a sleeping move of Young, which can be kind of nice for people that want to snag a lot of Pokemon, which I'm going to be doing. I already have a fire type though, so I don't need it. Plus, I kind of prefer Quilava over Slugma, but yeah, that's kind of Slugma in a nutshell. Very slow, but got some options for some decent moves, I suppose. Anyway, though, let's see if we can snag it at full health. Come on, come through for me. It didn't work. Okay. So, that aside, I suppose if you want to pick up Slugma, I'd recommend seeing if you can get Flame Body for it, because I find that more useful than Magma Armor, just that it sees more use in battle. Let's see if we can catch it this time, and we got it. Okay. So, we check him out. Got 180 for winning, and that does it for the Duel Square. Now, we're done here, right? Actually, no. Now that we are done speeding up these battles, there is actually something else that I would like to show. So, back to normal speed, let's go heal up really quick one more time, because there is one thing that I would like to show that I failed to show in the last video. Alright, so hopefully I didn't drive you too mad with all those battles and bios. I just wanted to get them out of the way quickly because of just how many there were. I mean, God, that was already like, what, like 12 minutes of video even after being sped up? Yeah, that was a lot of content to go over. But I kind of wanted to get all this out of the way as well as explain what I hadn't explained about those Pokemon with black auras. So how about we go out to the map, and really quick actually, I just want to make this clear. I might have a lot of Pokemon in my party, like, you know, I had that Noctowl, and, you know, I had other Pokemon that I'd snagged. Just making this perfectly clear. The only members of my team right now are Espeon, Quilava, and Quagsire. The others are kind of just tagging along for the ride because it's just kind of good to have a party of 6 at all times, but they will be replaced with other members as I get them. Anyway, though, back in Fenax City, first city in the Ore region. Have I even said this place is called the Ore region? I certainly hope so by this point. Yes, first city in the Ore region. We want to head back here because if we head over here, there is actually an NPC that would be good to talk to. And by the way, dude, your feet are huge. Okay. I like that Pikachu sprite drawn on the whiteboard. Let's talk to her now. Pay attention. One does not become a good trainer simply by battling without strategy. Oh my god. That sounds like a internet meme. It's just like, one does not simply become a trainer. One does not become a good trainer simply by battling without strategy. I wonder if they did that on purpose. I mean, it's kind of predated that. A good trainer thinks about the Pokemon that are in battle. Oh, you want to see a trainer do? Are you listening to my class? No, not really. I kind of just walked up because I wanted some free stuff. Anyway, just gonna take our PDA. And Rui somehow is in the know-how of tech, so we give her that. She upgrades and adds the strategy memo function. Now, you'll be able to check the types and abilities of Pokemon you've met at a glance, so that's really nice. I'm going to go ahead and show this really quick. In the PDA, which I actually haven't shown off yet, this is basically your replacement of a trainer card in Colosseum. It's not really much of anything new. You do have an email system, however, this hasn't been used yet. Aside from that, it just shows a list of Shadow Pokemon that you've snagged so far. Shows your money, shows your Poke Coupons, which aren't important right now. Shows how much time you played, all that good stuff. But anyway, what we want to show is the strategy memo. This is completely optional. You don't have to get it. As you can see here, this is basically an alphabetical Pokedex. You also can search, and you can do it by color, all these other things. Color non-use. Wait, non-use? Is non-use even a word? I don't know, a lot of words I have never heard of in this video. Anyway, so this is basically a Pokedex. Going into Azurill right here, which is a Pokemon that we fought but we cannot snag, we can see here that it is a normal type, not a water type, and what abilities it can have. You can take closer looks at it, you know, all that good stuff. Now, about the strategy memo. You know, this is basically the Pokedex here. You know, this is basically the Pokedex. I have played through Colosseum 4 times, this being my 5th time, mind you. And I've also read a 100% walkthrough of Colosseum. I was never aware this item even existed. Yes, I've even read a 100% walkthrough of Colosseum, and it didn't even note that this existed. And I played through it 4 times, and I've never found it on my own. Your comments being all like, God, why are you skipping the strategy memo? Don't you know anything? By the way, I skipped this item as well. Super Potion, 3 of them. Not overly helpful, but hey, not bad. But yeah. Everyone's all like, God, you're skipping over the strategy mode. What do you think? It's not important or something? You know, like you forgot about it? No, I didn't forget. I didn't think it was not important. I didn't think it existed. I flat out just thought Colosseum didn't have a Pokedex. I'm being totally honest. I'm not going to lie to you and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. No, I didn't know about it, and I'm going to tell you. I didn't know it existed. I just assumed Colosseum didn't have a Pokedex because it didn't make sense to me for a game with like 50 Pokemon to really have one. And the fact that they made it completely optional, apparently the developers didn't think so either. Now, one thing I will say is that thing looked like it took a lot of work to put together because it's basically making a Pokedex from scratch based on the mechanics of Colosseum. I feel bad for whoever had to put that thing together. I mean, putting all that work into something and they're just going to make it an optional thing in the game even though it's an entire function to your PDA, yeah, that kind of sucks. Anyway, though, now that we're done with all that and I've shown off those two things that I didn't show before, next time on Pokemon Colosseum, maybe we will enter the Pyrite Colosseum for reals this time instead of just going there to heal. And maybe at long last, we will finally get to compete at a Colosseum challenge. I know, getting to actually do what the title of this game implies. See you guys then.